Hey everybody, my name is Al. I'm actually the owner of Three Old Guys, Hobbies and Games. Up to this point, we've introduced my other two colleagues, my brother Hector and a friend of ours, Jeff, who we've known for 50 plus years. And we always discussed a little bit about how we got into the hobby and a little bit about ourselves. So I'm going to talk a little bit about myself first, and then I'll tell you how I got into the hobby. So I'm actually retired from the Army. I really don't like to mention that too much. A lot of people find it fascinating. A lot of people are kind of bored about it. But yeah, I retired from the Army. Had about a little over 20 years. I spent my career jumping out of airplanes. Started off in conventional airborne units, and then I transitioned into Special Forces. During that time period, did the whole gamut of Iraq, Afghanistan, and a bunch of other things in between. And then I retired and I did some overseas contracting, and then I kind of settled into something I was going to do full time. But throughout that whole time period, I was always very interested in games, hobbies, any sort of miniatures, paintings, model kits. Always kept that going, and I accumulated quite the wall of shame. Now, what you can't see right now off camera is a closet of shame, which I have a lot of stuff. And now that I actually own a game store, that wall of shame slash closet of shame, it's kind of grown a little bit. Just the way things are, if you own an ice cream shop, you're probably going to start eat a little bit more of the ice cream. Just the same thing with you own a game store. Kind of, start getting a little bit of your own product in there too. But what got me going into gaming, the more I thought about it lately, was a little kid, must have been about 6 years old, and my dad bought me the typical big plastic bag of Green Army soldiers, and that started just getting out of control because one bag of Green Army soldiers led to another one, which led to a little bag of Cowboys and Indians, which led to a little bag of Knights, which led to a little bag of all these other things you imagine, like dinosaurs and everything else. After a while, you start combining them. It's like, hey, what would happen if you had these knights in shiny armor versus dinosaurs? That's actually pretty cool. Hey, what would happen if you had these guys versus Cowboys and Indians? So things just started getting out of control. And then by the time the late 70s and early 80s started coming around, started getting into the role-playing games, primarily Dungeons and Dragons. Loved it to no end. Played that for years. But I also did a lot of historical gaming. And the game that I recall that I bought on my own, with my own saved up money from allowances and doing everything else, was actually this game here called Tactics 2 by Avalon Hill. And I bought it, I gotta tell you, because of this tank on the cover. I thought, hey, this is a pretty cool tank. I don't know what the hell it is. Doesn't look like anything I know, but it looks pretty interesting. Let me go ahead and buy this game. So I bought it, and I took it home. I was very excited. I opened it up, and it's like, oh, let's see what we got here. I got the rule book. It's like, okay, still has the same little goofy tank on it. And then all of a sudden, guess what happened? Disappointment took place, because it starts talking about the counters in here, and there's no damn tanks on this thing. It's all, they're tactical icons. It's like, I don't know what a tactical icon is. I'm like 12 years old, man. What gives with this? Hey, maybe it's going to get better. So then I opened up the map board here, and it's opened up. Well, guess what? More disappointment followed. But it's like, hey, maybe this is going to be saved. And I looked at the counters, and it's, I gotta tell you, it's basically, it's boys versus girls. It's pink versus blue, and they're tactical counters. It's like, oh well, you know what? Lesson learned. I still like playing war games and everything else, but this is not what I signed up for, man. I thought it was gonna be something really cool, but it wasn't. But lo and behold, my brother ended up getting Panzer Blitz, which he talked about in his video, and that had tanks on it, that had infantry dudes, that had artillery pieces. That thing was just absolutely awesome. And then that's what really kept me going into the historical side, with all the little cool, I can actually see, and envision myself, hey, I'm in this tank, I'm in this half track, I'm into the squad of infantry. I totally get it. Then miniatures started coming to play, and back then the main ones I remember were Ral Partha, and those are the ones that we had for Dungeons and Dragons, Gamma World, and everything else that came out by TSR. Painted a ton of them. And actually, probably about a year ago, my brother found the ones that I painted all those years ago. I still have them, still have the same little paint job on them. And, you know, for a guy who was painting these when he's like 12, 13 years old, it's like, they're not too bad. I actually kind of like them, you know, but I really don't touch them right now because back then I didn't know anything about varnish, didn't know anything about any of that stuff, how to protect the paint. Some of them are chipped, you know, I really don't care. They just look really, really cool. So then I started going to, you know, the ones that are actually out there now. Everybody knows, you know, hey, Warlord, Artisan, Empress, Miniatures. These are all fantastic. I'll probably go on and on and on. You know, we're doing our best right now to actually carry a lot of those companies. But I'll say this, we're doing our best. You know, we've got a really good selection right now of what we have on the website. I actually want to get more. There's a lot of good companies out there. They put out fantastic products. It's just a matter of, hey, we're still new in the game. We're still starting up. We're still kind of the unknown. So, you know what you can do for us is actually go to the website and say, hey, this is what I'm looking for. And that actually gives us a little bit more ammo to talk to these manufacturers and distributors. Say, look, you know, we know we're new here, but we have a pretty good customer base who's asking us for very specific products. Can you get those for us, please? So that's a little bit of, you know, where the business comes into this. You know, but obviously with the business side as well, I'm going to, you know, to quote Homer Simpson, I'm going to digest. So I digest for a little bit, and you know, we do have a bunch of other stuff. You know, we got the paints, we got books, we got tools. You know, we're more than just, you know, what people think about in a regular game store. It's like, hey, you know, here's all the really neat stuff to have, but we need to actually build that stuff to paint it. You need to have the paints and the tools and the brushes and whatnot. So we have that too. But I gotta tell everybody that my love and my passion for this has never waned. Like I said, you probably couldn't tell by how much I still have left to paint. There's a ton of it. If only my wife knew how much was actually in that closet, which might not be a cool thing because she's going to watch this video. But there is the cool stuff, but guess what? There's always room for more. So right now, my current interest when it comes to gaming, I do enjoy a lot of early World War II. I like the fact that the uniforms are still kind of left over from World War I time period. Same thing with the weapon systems are not all that lethal. You still have cavalry charges that took place, you know, whether it's German cavalry, French cavalry, Polish cavalry, even American cavalry in the Philippines, which is the 26th Cavalry, the Philippine Scouts. Very, very cool stuff, you know, airborne units, which I'm very drawn to, you know, that with along with the OSS, they're in their infancy, and they're doing things that, if you ever read a book and say, hey, you know, what are these guys doing back then versus what we do now, you're like, no way in hell we would do that stuff now. There's no flipping way, you know, because of lack of intelligence, lack of preparation, lack of everything. But that's all tactical stuff to worry about on another topic video. But I do like that small unit action. Usually no more than a platoon per side, early war stuff, you know, guys running out there with, you know, single shot rifles or maybe an M1 Garand, you know, early type of submachine guns. You know, just definitely love it, love it, love it. So anyways, that's basically me, how I got into the hobby, where I am right now, and my interest. I would like to conclude by saying the typical, hey, you know, if you go to our website, go to see us on YouTube, please like, you know, subscribe, share. We can always use more customers, we can always use more friends. Always use more ideas. If somebody's got anything interesting to add to make us, you know, better, more well-rounded, hey, please contribute to our, you know, to our website and to our comments in the section as well too. But that's all for now. I hope everybody enjoyed this video, and hopefully you got all the way through to the end without being too bored on it. Recommendation is, if you buy this game, just buy it for the collector purposes. Don't buy it for anything else because you'll probably be a little bit disappointed. Anyways, thank you very much. I hope to see you guys at somewhere on the website, either on our Facebook page or on our YouTube site. Till then, thanks and have a good rest of your day.